Hello, this is John Miller, the creator of this podcast. Now, the rest of Everest is probably the most in-depth look at just what it takes to climb the world's highest peak. But keep in mind that it is a series. And if you're checking out the podcast for the first time, do yourself a favor, go back to episode 0 and watch everything in order. That's really the right way to enjoy it. Thanks so much. Hey everyone, John Miller here. I just want to thank everyone who stepped up and donated to the podcast over the past week after my plea from the last episode. Everyone's contributions have really been appreciated, and of course I could still use a few more to build up a nice safety net. I also want to thank everyone who purchased a t-shirt. I need to let everyone know that I did actually run out of my shirt stock, so I've placed another order with my embroiderer in Kathmandu. This time around I've also ordered a few more patches in case anyone's interested. If you are, just shoot me an email. Speaking of shirts and donations, I received this photo of Eric Randville wearing a Rest of Everest t-shirt. Eric and I have emailed back and forth many times, and I wanted to let everyone know that he'll be climbing New England's famous Mount Washington in July to help raise money for the Weather Observatory on its summit. He'll be participating in a hike-a-thon called Seek the Peak. Eric's trying to raise $2,500, and he's nearly there. I donated all the way back in January, and if anyone's interested in the event, the mountain, or the observatory, and would be interested in donating to his fine cause, then visit seekthepeak.org, where you'll find Eric under the name Blue Dog. Good luck with the fundraising, Eric. I really hope you have a great time on that hike. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and now on with this week's episode.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience.
Episode 87, Technical Support.
Hey.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest. I'm John Miller. I'm very happy to be joined once again, 2 episodes in a row, with Brian Ostrike. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing excellent, John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for joining, especially considering Scott couldn't make it this week. He's busy working tonight, so I hope he's having a good night working, protecting Yosemite National Park. But I'm really excited to show this episode because it's a little bit more of just the kind of poking around base camp, and of course I'm excited to have another Everest climber on the episode to give a little bit more insight as to, again, what it was like to be there. And I would say let's just get back up to around 17,000 feet and head back up to Everest Base Camp. So here we go. Alright, so this is the tail end of the puja, and I wanted to get some shots of the stupa, or the chorten in Tibet as it's known. Stupa in Nepal, chorten in Tibet. The little altar that was built.
Don't worry, they also have Budweiser.
And Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yes, and Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's correct.
You can see some of the rice and seeds there, and just different things. It's a yak butter candle there. And a tanka painting, or painted woven, geez, I don't even know what to call that right there, but you can see a kata scarf, white scarf draped around there, and then of course the prayer flags.
And the at the top of the stupas, they always have five flags going off, and that's symbolic. I'm not exactly sure what the luck is, but there's always 5.
That's great. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
These photographs really here, just real quick. Some people have commented and asked me kind of to give some explanation of how I can do some of the smooth walking shots that I do. And my trick is I'm cheating. I'm using this device that a friend of mine makes. It's called the shaft. This is Dorje from the Windhorse team. He's the leader.
I really miss that guy.
He was conducting the puja.
I always, when I have expedition, the Everest, Choyu, Shishapangma, and Pumori, Nupche, Roche, I lead by myself. And we have also leader, Pascal Johnny from France. Every time when we organize the expedition, we have a team leader plus Nepali leader.
How many times have you been to Everest?
I didn't submit Everest yet, but I always my job is I organize from Kathmandu and marketing 3 or 4 months in a year in Europe, in America, and many places all over the world. And the maximum I've been is only 7,200 Ratnachuli in the west of Nepal.
Well, how many times have you been to the mountain?
Here I've been, this is my second time.
Second time?
Yes.
How do you like it here?
Wonderful. I like very much, and with all my climbing teams, they all are happy, they all are very fitness, no sickness, everybody good.
So you, when we met you yesterday, you said, my camp is over here and you can have food, you can have sleep. Do you like to share your materials with other people at base camp?
No, we don't share our materials with other groups in base camp, but we are very much happy when you are here. We would like to invite the climbers and everyone who are at base camp. At the end of the expedition, we also do a launch party for all the groups, all the teams, ceremony as a farewell ceremony at base camp.
Why do you do that? Is it fun?
This is fun, yeah, for the fun and to know each other, to introduce from the climbers from all over the world.
So do you think that being at Everest is only about climbing, or is it about meeting other people and having a good time?
It's also one of the very good chance to see the people, each other, and introduce, to make friendship each other. Like you, I didn't know you before, but when you came here, I know you like this.
Yes. Now, how long do you think you will be on expedition?
For this time?
Yeah.
Actually, we have all the expedition is same. In Tibet, we will have 3 months Chinese visa. Until the 15th June, we have to finish all the expedition. Normally, the summit time is when we see the history is from May 15 to May 25, the summit time. Then the end date we have is about 25 May.
Why?
Because when we see the history, most of the summit time is from 15 May to 25 May.
Why not? Why can't you be here later?
We can be later also, but most of the team they will return by the end of May.
But does the monsoon come?
It's also the monsoon comes and from end of the May and beginning of June, the good season will be end.
One more thing.
Yes.
Yes. What did we do here about 1 hour ago?
We did a special prayer. Normally we do at the base camp, and also we will do at the advanced base camp. We will do special puja to for our success to summit Everest, and also to have good weather and to have happiness and prosperity and peace in all over the world.
Is it important?
Yes, it's very. I think it's most important. I was Buddhist monk since a long time. I was a Buddhist monk for 18 years, and I did graduation in Buddhist philosophy from India in a Buddhist university in Banaras. That's why I think the prayer is very, very important. Anytime, not only in the mountain for Everest to success the summit, but always it's very important to have peace and happiness and prosperity in all over the world, especially these days of the world. Because nowadays we can see everywhere in the world there are problems, always terrorist problem, and always the people thinking of people is we believe the Buddhist belief thinking of the people is always going worse and worse. There's people. There are always people they think negative more than the people who think positive. That's why prayer is always, we think, is very, very important to have to prevail the happiness and peace in the world.
And we gave offerings, correct?
Yes.
What were those?
Those are we offer to the, especially we do the puja here is to triple jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And especially we do is to the protector goddess of Chomolangma Mount Everest. Her name is Myo Lang Sangma, who is the protector of Mount Everest.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste. Brian, when you've been on several Himalayan expeditions, and do you feel a difference climbing in the Himalayas as when you do climbing in the United States?
You know, it's hard to even compare them just because, you know, you have to pack your bags, and it's almost like you're moving when you're going on one of these expeditions because you're gone for 2 months. And so, you know, there's that, but also the sheer scale of it. You know, you arrive and the mountains just look so big that you know it's going to take a really long time to get up there.
Right.
So yeah, it's a different scale, but you know, at the same time, they are mountains, and it's an actual real place. You know, it's not just some mythological mountain that doesn't exist. You know, it's still 1 foot in front of the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. Wow.
This is a nice pan of base camp. I'm curious, did you intermingle with any of the other expeditions very much?
You know, we were kind of a little more isolated over on our side, and there was almost probably about a half mile to a mile, almost separating 3 camps, which was Dorje's Himalayan wind horse camp, our Asian trekking, and then a very, very large Chinese camp, which was a rehearsal to the torch. And so, you know, we didn't actually walk across this large area too many times. Really, I remember we did it once early on, and then, you know, we went to the Discovery Channel after party, or summit party, I should say, with Russell Bryce and all those guys. And so that was quite a show.
And we have some footage of it, everyone, and we'll see that in a few months when we rejoin Brian and get all of his actual climbing episodes, which will take place after I finish with this 2007 footage of my own. But I just want to say, those pictures you saw of me, you saw the flag that viewer Mike Womble gave me, and I did take pictures of us at base camp, but also pictures of me at my old tent spot. So I've come over to the 7summitsclub.com team. I've met a new friend. His name is Maxim, and he is Russian, and he's filming for his TV station back home. And I'm going to show him how to deliver the video in a proper aspect ratio. Aha! Yes, see, we have the same camera. It's a good camera.
It's very good camera. Можешь быть переводчицей? Ты все уже? Просто человек Алекса ищет.
Алекса? Какого?
Твоего.
Oh, it's good you have the wide, the good lens, yeah. You have a good lens. For everyone who knows the 2003 expedition well, you know that I have a very soft spot in my heart for Russians. See, this is also part of Everest. You come all the way up to Everest to talk shop about video gear, even if you don't speak the same language. It's all good. Yeah, okay, the St. Petersburg guys were great to me, so I was happy to see these guys.
Alex.
Are these guys from St. Petersburg as
well?
No,
they're not. They're not. They're actually from all over. 7summitsclub.com. They take any clients who will come with them. But I had actually met Dave D'Angelo. He's one of the partners at Srak Films, and they did the film on Eric Weinmeier, the blind climber who summited Everest. And I ran into him in Boulder and said I was coming up here, and he said, "Oh, you're going to be on the north side. Say hello to my friend Alex at 7summitsclub.com." So I said, "All right." So I did.
But you want to speak with Alex?
Yes.
Don't you?
Is he here?
Not here. We're having a meeting.
I had never met him before. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, we asked all the stuff in it. So maybe you can ask if you want to.
Oh, just 1 minute. Just
yeah, sure. Come.
No, see, okay. I have a friend who is in Colorado. Yeah. David from Srak Films.
David D'Angelo.
D'Angelo.
My good friend.
I'm a friend of him, and he knew I was coming up here. I saw him about 3 weeks ago, and he just said to come in and say hello.
Thank you
very much. I'm John.
Thank you very much. And
Yes,
that's all.
he sent me email also, wish good luck.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yes, and so I always
So you are John?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Alex.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
It's
I am.
Andrei. Luda.
Andrei?
Sergey.
Luda.
Andrei.
Hello.
And then I stopped filming and then I went back outside.
Together this organization committee of the candidate city Sochi 2014.
Okay.
I put in the flags Sochi and on the five rings on the Olympic
yes.
flags. You
Yes.
know, these 5 summits of the world.
Oh, good.
And February Aconcagua, America. March Elbrus,
Russia, Europe.
Europe. March Костюшка, Australia.
Okay.
Now Everest. In June.
I'm going to speak over him real quick. So he was climbing the 5 of the highest mountains in the world to coincide with the 5 Olympic rings, and a lot of Olympic stuff going on this 2007 season. And did you Brian? Did you find a lot of people who are doing all kinds of interesting different things associated with Everest while you were there?
Well, you know, the question you asked earlier about meeting some of the different groups, I forgot to mention the Norwegian group that actually had a great kind of movie theater set up, and they had a projector, and so we went over there and watched a movie, and one of their climbers was actually called the Unarmed Expedition because he had 2 prosthetic arms, one starting just below his elbow and the other one almost up to his shoulder.
Wow.
That was a really fascinating story, and I do believe he summited. And, you know, just a lot of different causes, and, you know, ours included. And, you know, it seems pretty consistent that a lot of people do, you know, try and climb for kind of the greater good rather than just, you know, for their own purposes. And so,
which is very much, I think, at odds with what a lot of people know Everest to be. They really do think it's all about, you know, getting up there and kind of pushing the envelope. And certainly that's part of it, you know, pushing the envelope maybe of your own personal experience. But there is a lot of people using Everest as a way to get attention for some really good causes, and it's always nice to see that.
It's just amazing to look back, though, and, you know, when I think of Everest 2007 and our longevity expedition, the summit is such a little part of it, you know. I mean, it was a whole year's worth of work, and, you know, it's still going on, really, and, you know, the summit was such a tiny part of it.
It's absolutely true. But I have to say, luckily for you, you had a nice clear view from the top. So
yeah, it was a little windy. You know, it was a little windy up there, as the viewers will see in a month or so, like you said. It was too windy.
I want to mention here that in this tent here, this was quite a setup these guys had. But wow. They also there was I heard an Irish accent in the back of this tent here, and there was a woman named Hannah who was climbing with them, and I sat down with her and spoke with her for about half an hour, and she knew my good friend Richard Dugan from the Northern Ireland team in 2003. So you always end up knowing people through people, and it's a very small community, even though there's hundreds of people here. You know, if you consider worldwide, chances are if you meet someone at one of these places, you'll know someone in common.
To an unbelievable degree. It constantly happens, and everybody really does know everybody.
Money? I don't have any money. I don't have any.
And that Alex climber that we just met, he's done a really great job of growing this Seven Summits company. I don't even think it existed 10 years ago, and now it's one of the largest companies in the north side.
Yep, absolutely.
Obviously, very nice tents and nice setup. They ended up helping us out later on when there was some very serious problems high on the mountain. They had the best radio systems, and so they really helped us kind of communicate with the upper mountain.
Oh, that's great.
You get any shots?
Yeah, I got some good shots.
I zoomed in, I didn't get that close. Yeah, so I'm trying to get some yak footage, and they wanted money for it.
Did they?
I actually don't have any local currency on me at all. Scott's been hooking me up. Hello.
I'm sure Scott will appreciate you said that.
Yeah. I've been very clear that Scott had all the money.
There you are.
I really like the Tibetan people. They're just so friendly. Well, everyone's so friendly out there.
They're just simple and always so happy. You know, it just puts a
little bit
smile
hard
on your
sometimes,
face.
because now everyone wants money, and you know, that's fair. But I just haven't had any on me. Scott's actually the one who's had the local currency. That's good in Tibet here. And we've got company. It's good. See, everyone's so friendly around here. But so, you know, if someone asks for money, you either stop filming or you just move on. And most likely people are okay with it. But you know, everyone's trying to make a living, and you got to respect that. So I took a few shots and then moved on. Huh? Sama? Huh? Not sure what I'm being asked.
But it just doesn't matter.
Very good.
John, this is a great reminder of just, you know, that you're at 17,500 feet and you really are out of breath just by walking.
Yep.
Out here at Everest,
it's kind of hard to imagine that watching this.
That you would never eat at home, or you'd like to say you'd never eat at home. But out here, you know, it's really good for you. Bye.
Yeah, I think I was saying you can eat all the garbage, all the junk food you want at Everest because you need the calories. And here we're looking at that was some footage of a bunch of climbers and I think Sherpa, and they were all heading to the little Tibetan tent village several kilometers away to drink, to go get drunk. And
you know, they don't recommend that at altitude, but it certainly happens up there with the locals. They don't let the altitude bother them.
They're already acclimated anyway.
It's interesting sometimes, and actually this year on Lhotse, our departure from, or the Sherpa's departure from base camp was actually delayed because they had been drinking so much during the puja ceremony that they were slightly hungover the following day, and so they had to take almost a rest day from their puja.
That's awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Brian. I appreciate you joining. It's always great to get some of your insights. It's nice to get a different perspective, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, John. Thanks a lot.
And I want to take the opportunity to direct people to Brian's excellent blog about his recent Lhotse climb and some other stuff. I think you got some Aconcagua information on there as well. It's called preacclimate.com. That's correct, right?
That's correct, with two L's.
Yeah, so I'll put it up on the screen. And then Brian is also sponsored and working for a interesting company called Hypoxico that make systems that help you train at a simulated altitude and hopefully give you an edge. And he's been really doing some great work for that company, and your Lhotse climb was sort of proof that a lot of that stuff is working very well for mountaineers.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, and I unfortunately didn't get to climb as quickly as I wanted to this year, which is kind of what I'm trying to figure out is how well these systems can get someone ready for a mountain, and you know, just how much time you can really chop off of your stay at base camp. And so, you know, my climb of Aconcagua was amazing. I was able to basically go to the summit at 23,000 feet directly in just a couple days, and you know, I'm really looking forward to trying to do that again on an 8,000 meter peak, hopefully next year.
Of course. So everyone, you should check that out, and if you want any information on Hypoxico, you can actually link to it from Brian's preacclimate.com blog site. So a lot of great photos there, really interesting stuff, and really enjoyed following along with your Lhotse climb. So as much as you could, as much information as you could get out from this base camp this year. But in any case, that's a story for another time.
That's a story for another time.
And well, thanks so much, Brian. And everyone, I will be taking next week off because I am going down to watch Ben Clark get married to his sweetheart Annie Ripper. So I will be taking next week off. I'll be in Telluride this weekend and will not be producing an episode for next week, but you'll find me the week after that. So thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you then. Bye. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every week. If you enjoy watching and would like to show your support, then take a look at my website. Aside from having lots of additional blog entries from the expedition updated every week, there's this little donation button on every page. Now, many of you have pressed that button, and your generous contributions are helping to cover my hosting fees. If you haven't donated but would like to, then just contribute any amount. In return, I'll give you access to the video and audio dispatches I sent out while we were actually at Everest. It's pretty interesting stuff. Contribute $25 or more, and I'll even throw in an iPod-compatible version of the film Everest: The Other Side. That's the project the entire podcast here is based on. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywu.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.
Surprise.